What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Beers and Breakdowns. We got something special for you. Today we're doing a new show that just dropped by the man, based on the man's book, Jack Carr's book, Terminal List. Woo! Today we're going to do episode 1. Let's preface this with, I hope it gets better. What did you think of episode 1?
I thought it was really bad. It's like the best show you could possibly have on in the background while you clean your house.
Oof.
Chris Pratt's known for being like quirky and funny, and even when he played a serious character like in that Tomorrow War or whatever it was on Amazon, which is the same place where this is released, he still played like a semi-serious character.
Yeah.
But they threw in the right amount of who he is as a person.
Right.
They just tried so hard to make it serious that it's clearly fake.
Yeah, I wanted this show to be really good, and I hope that it gets better. As we know, sometimes shows just have a rough start because people need to get comfortable with the characters and the development of the show. But instantly I was just like, what's up with Chris? What's happening with Chris Pratt? Like, one of my favorite actors of all time. I love him in Guardians of the Galaxy, Parks and Rec, but it's like this show just took everything great about Chris Pratt and ripped it all out of him. Like, hey, don't be really funny, don't be witty, don't be like this cool guy, just be super serious and make this one face all the time. Like, I swear, if Chris smiled, I feel like they're like, pull it back down, Chris. And he's like, oh, sorry, guys. I hate to say cringy, but it was cringy. All right, so let's jump in and then check this thing out. Because obviously, with Jack Carr being a Navy SEAL, there's like some really cool shooting scenes. But then even those got jumbled up in my head. Let's go check it out, and we'll show you guys what we're talking about.
Boozers, baby. Yeah, fuck you, Chrome. Be an honor to have a little baby boozer. Even if he tapped out at 5'2".
You're dead. 5'3".
Hey guys, let's lock it up. Sorry, how you feeling? Like a fucking pit bull, sir.
All right, pause.
On my seat.
This scene's just awkward. It's like, we know what you're trying to do. It's trying to be like the team room joking to boozers, baby. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. You know, like every team room, we were always talking shit. But Chris and that brow just constantly stuck like this. And lock it up, guys. Super serious, lock it up. It's like, all right. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just so weird.
Obviously, it's coming from a good source, right? He's probably going to tell them what would actually be said in that type of a situation if they were just about to start talking about a mission and start talking the way, I guess, SEALs talk. But when it comes out of his mouth, it just doesn't seem natural at all. Like something that's supposed to be said.
Let's eat.
Then let's eat, boys.
Let's eat, boys. Aha, boozers, baby. Like that. That's like something they would say. Like, aha, you talking shit. But then it's like, let's eat. Like, you know what happened in a real team room if the commander walked in and said, let's eat? Everyone would be like, did you just say let's eat, bro? Seriously? Let's eat?
It's like if you walked in and said, if there's fish, it's time to start banging hammers, homie.
Exactly. You say some stupid shit, you get made fun of. What's up, guys? Did you know that the Mentor program is now live? That's right, we're live. Go sign up now at the FNGAcademy.com. Click the mentorship program. We have 3 tiers. Tier 3, if you just want to support the channel or if you just want the exclusive content, it's $25 a month. We're doing weekly video drops on there, and it's the best way to help support us so we can keep doing what we're doing. Tier 2 is coaching in group sessions, and tier 1 is one-on-one coaching with a Green Beret. Those spots are currently full, but if you're interested in the one-on-one coaching, just sign up for the email list. We'll let you know when the spots are available so you guys can sign up. Thank you so much, and we look forward to helping you guys achieve your goals. Also, this video is sponsored by 18 Alpha Fitness. If you want to be SF, you need to be in shape, go check out Kevin over at 18 Alpha Fitness. Use code word BUCK, and he'll hook you up.
This motherfucker is ours. We are Alpha.
Boy.
Eyes on the horizon, boys. Let's make it count.
Is this a video game? Are you playing a fucking video? Are you a video game character right now? Like, what are you saying? Why are you saying that?
It wouldn't suck so bad if we just didn't know he was so good of an actor.
Yeah.
Aside from this, like if it was just some guy I didn't know, I wouldn't really care that much. I'd be like, oh, I don't love it, but knowing it's Chris Pratt and knowing that you've enjoyed everything else he's ever done, it's like
so good.
Where did they go wrong with this?
I think my old team sergeant did that one time. He was at a meeting with like a bunch of commanders and sergeant majors, and I guess this is the what my buddy told me, but he's like, dude, they were all sitting around and the commander's like, Team Sergeant, how did that go or whatever? How's your team doing? And he's like, iron sharpens iron, sir. There's something like he hit him with one of those like weird lines, and it was like everyone in the room was like, iron sharpens iron, sir. So he hit him. It was like a longer spiel than that. It was like, my boys are out there getting it. Iron sharpens iron. This is something that they get right, and this is the benefit to having Jack Carr on scene with them, is that they all have suppressors. It's so annoying when teams are running all these ops, and it's like CQB and all this shit, and they don't throw suppressors on their rifles. Like, you're gonna have a shorty with a suppressor. It's just the best way to go. So that way, if my ears are up, and you go shooting over my shoulder, you're not blowing out my damn eardrums. And
that's what I think every time.
So you don't care, right? You like this this whole scene. What does this scene represent to you? Like, as they're clearing and all that, like, are you paying attention to any of it, or are you just like, okay, they're doing their jobs?
No, I'm just waiting for whatever's going to happen. Clearly, something's going to happen. They're quiet. They're going through water. I'm not looking at their gun. I'm not looking about whether they're suppressed or not. I don't even care about what gear they have on. Nods.
Exactly.
None of that shit.
That's why people will say, like, oh, why are you the technical advisor was this person, the technical advisor was that person. It's like, I don't know if you guys know this, but civilians don't give a shit. Like, as a technical advisor, I'd be like, throw your suppressors on. It doesn't make sense. Please put suppressors on. And then all the directors probably like, hey, guy, nobody cares. And then civilians would be like, not even notice the fact that they're running suppressed, which makes more sense given the operational environment.
Sir, 6 flagging. Hold. EOD up, no comms.
What do you say? EOD up, no what?
Comms.
All right, so this is where it's like tactically it makes sense, but most people don't care. Okay.
This is the part where the dog finds a wire in the ground. I can't tell what they're trying to sell me here. I can't tell if they're trying to sell me that the dog figured out there's a wire in a tripwire in the water that they didn't see, and that's why he made noise,
right.
Or if he just made noise indicating that the explosive was in the room at that exact time before they walked into the tripwire.
Yeah, because it ends up being that there's explosives all over it, and it's daisy-chained C4 all along the roof. So he would have smelt that
the minute they enter the room.
As soon as they entered, he would have been indicating he would have been hitting for explosives. So I'm not sure the timing of the whole tripwire thing either. I don't know what's on that dog's head, but I wasn't a canine guy, so I don't know anything about what canines run on the dogs. The dogs that we had in Afghanistan were there to bite people, and fuck people up and save us from having to go in alone, So we're like attack dogs that they're running. So they're bomb dogs. So each dog is trained for something specific. I'm assuming that since the dog sniffed on that, he's a bomb dog. I don't know what's on his head.
I have a feeling one of you guys know.
Yeah, you guys are
so let us know.
Because all you're going to do is hit Google, and then you're going to tell us, and it's fine. But, so I don't know what the dog's got in his head. Maybe that has something to do with his indication ability, I don't know, of the wire. The wire thing's just kind of weird. The lingo is what it makes sense. He's like, hold, EOD, no comms. I'm assuming he's saying no comms because they don't know what kind of trip the bomb, what is going to detonate the explosive, and so they'd rather not send signals at all in case it's that would trip the explosives. So I think that's why he's like, EOD up, no comms. It's like don't use comms and potentially trip this unknown explosives. But then the guy says landslide, which, if you guys don't know, landslide is we're out of here. Mission's over. When it's landslide, it is the whole place is booby trapped. Get the fuck out. So if EOD calls landslide, bye. Bye. There's no more mission. So he called landslide, and then they just keep going and stepping over a tripwire Where there's one tripwire, there's going to be more. So this part didn't make sense to me either. Okay, so if you know that there's tripwires in the water, I mean, it's landslide. Get the fuck out of there.
See, now they've seen it.
Yeah. All right, so now he sees det cord. All right, and then he found the explosives on the ceiling.
It's a fucking landslide, sir. So crypt is ready to blow. Take comms external. Unknown negative on the access point. Yes,
So I think what's going on, and this has taken us like the second time around to figure it out, but I think what's going on is they moved through from their entrance point to the tripwire. He called landslide, and then they start taking contact from their entry point.
And so now they're still behind the tripwire.
They're still behind the tripwire fighting backwards.
Okay.
I think that's what's going on.
Okay.
It's very fucking confusing.
That would make more sense.
But that makes sense. Okay. All right. It's like it doesn't, there's just everyone starts shooting, and then all of a sudden it's like you go from landslide, which he doesn't respond to at all. Fall back to the trip. So now they're all going towards the tripwire. So you've decided that the whole thing exploding is a safer option than the gunfight that you're in?
Maybe. I don't know.
Gosh damn it, it's confusing. It's just like,
No idea. In all fairness, this is the coolest part of this whole first episode to me personally, because there's no bad acting here. It's just a gunfight. It's just cool. It's just action. It's after this where everything really fucking takes a shit for me.
And that's a lot of dudes coming in there. I think I know what's happening. Is they went to the tripwire, they went to go back, and now they're overwhelmed with dudes. So then they go back to the tripwire thinking that, okay, we're better off getting over the tripwire and then moving past, and then those guys could trip it.
Okay.
I think that's what's going on. I think the whole scene is really cool once I kind of figured out what was going on. I don't know if it's why it was so confusing. Maybe I'm just an idiot. But Chris ruined it with his talking. Get those two men and go. I want to know what's happening here. I want to know what's happening there. It's like, listen, we're in a gunfight. We are all elite. We all know how to be in a gunfight. We all know what we have to do. There's not one person dictating to every person in a gunfight how to do it. Go kill that guy. Tell me what's going on. Grab those two. Like, what the fuck? Hey, sir, why don't you do me a favor and shut the fuck up so I can do my fucking job? I hate ragging on Chris Pratt so hard because he's such an awesome actor, but damn, I hope this gets better.
It's not good. Everybody's gone. They're all gone. Me and Boozer, that's it. Everybody else didn't make it out.
And then it simulates a phone call that he's having with like his wife or something, or he's telling somebody that they're all gone. And then it's like contrast that with the end of 13 Hours when, that guy's calling just to let his wife know that one guy didn't make it.
Yeah.
And this. It's like he's calling to let her know he got stuck in traffic and had a bad day at the office.
You just did that, dude.
What?
You just went there.
Went where?
I mean, that's a deep comparison. Like, that's too. Oh my gosh! All right. You blew my mind a little bit because you're so right. That's two scenes with the same thing happening.
Right.
With two guys that are really funny.
Right.
And then compare those two. Oh my gosh! If you put those side to side, that's not fair. That's fucked up. One deserves an award.
Yeah, I know. 13
Hours, when he called his wife at the end of 13 Hours, was one of the best scenes it's ever been put in a fucking war movie. Like that shit was so good, dude.
Here's the other thing. Most shows will give you character buildup, right? Meaning and it doesn't matter if it's military, it doesn't matter what it is, if it's sci-fi, whatever. In order for us as an audience to care about the people dying, we need to know who they are. We need to know why they're there. We need to know what their families are like. There's so much you need to know in order for a scene like this to carry the impact that I feel like they wanted it to carry.
That 13 Hours comparison got me. Because, I mean, that is night and day. And you're so right. I didn't put the two together. But it's the exact same vibe you're trying to get. Is your guy's died and you're calling the wife to let him know.
Ready for whiskey, Nate?
Of course, she wants whiskey neat.
Who are we drinking to?
Fucking excuse me? All right. So, I just lost my whole team.
Which she knows.
Which she knows. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting at a bar having a glass of whiskey, presumably with a friend, possibly by myself. Who knows? And a reporter walks up and says, "Who are we drinking to?" Are you fucking high? Like, what kind of world would that be a socially acceptable thing to walk up to someone who just lost a ton of his friends and say, "Who we drinking to, boss? Which one of them is it?" Like, what? And why are you all of a sudden up my ass over a story? I just lost all my friends. You think I give a fuck about your news reporting?
How did she get there so fast?
Immediately. Like she was already on base, just waiting for someone to come in that lost somebody. Whiskey neat, who we drinking for?
What are we drinking to?
Tell me what happened.
Especially when she knows what she's drinking to, or what she's about to ask him.
It's like, let's just fucking go full, hypothetically speaking, and he's going after, let's say the operation was for Bin Laden, and you see one of the SEAL Team 6 guys sitting at the bar, you're going to walk up and think that that guy's just going to unload you with all that top secret information about what he just went through? Like, are you an idiot? I'd be like, get the fuck away from me. Don't talk to me. Like, we know we can't. I'm not even tier 1. Tier 2, I would never tell a reporter what happened on an operation. Even if they're like, I knew there was no backlash. Why? Why put myself in that risk? I'd be like, get away, go away. But it's just weird that you would even have, like, that would even come up. It's just a strange thing. Like, I've never...
Yeah, the whole thing, the way it takes place is just unnatural and weird.
It's easy. We'll start at La Jolla Cove really early in the morning, because then there are no waves, we can get out to the flat water.
So the plan. We'll go. We're gonna do some stand-up paddleboarding. Okay.
World famous cinnamon rolls. Hey, should we eat these?
I think this whole scene is weird.
I feel uncomfortable watching this scene.
I think the whole scene is weird. I don't know if you guys ever remember a show way back in the day. I'm old as fuck, so probably not, but it's called Small Wonder, where there's like a child that's like a robot. She's supposed to play an actual robot. That's what this child seems like in this scene. And then he comes around the corner and grabs cinnamon rolls, turns around, they bring up like a sub-bass, we call it like a whoosh or a riser. So it's supposed to build really quick tension because, yeah, you're holding fucking cinnamon rolls with your bare hand that just came out of the oven, and then he drops them on the table, and they both act like something insane just took place. And I'm careful with this whole subject, but it seems like it's supposed to be because of what just happened to him. So I don't know if that's why his wife freaks out, but it looks to me like if that's what they were trying to portray, they didn't do a good job because he just grabbed cinnamon rolls, and what do you do when you grab something that's too hot and you forgot that it was hot? You drop it. And that's exactly what he did.
He just like held it.
He didn't like grab it and then throw it against the wall, which would be really out of the ordinary. He just lets it go. And then we're supposed to, the thing is that from a civilian standpoint, I'm supposed to buy this shit. I'm supposed to, because I'm not trying to talk about what other people have to go through. I want to be very careful here. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just coming off as a guy who knows everything. I'm just saying as a civilian watching this show, I'm supposed to buy into the scene and I'm supposed to feel the emotion. That's the whole point of a scene like this. But it doesn't make any sense to me.
He starts to be himself for a second about the surfing and then like pulls back and then goes bug-eyed. Like he's like, oh shit, PTSD. So PTSD in his mind is like stand there bug-eyed and then look over like this and then go grab the hot thing because I have PTSD. It's so weird. And like I can't speak on behalf of this because I have a shit ton of PTSD. I don't know if you guys knows about me, but I'm all sorts of fucked up. So you just don't like my eyes don't get bug-eyed just because I'm deep in thought. Speaking on behalf of someone for like on PTSD, the lost in thought is a big thing. Like you start to go places, like something will trigger a thought that just reminds you of an incident, and then you're there reliving it because of mistakes that you made, thinking about it, you just get lost in thought, and so you can kind of like daze off, and then they're like, hey, my wife does it all the time, like, oh, come back, and you're like, oh shit. But it's not like, it's just deep thought, but it gets triggered by something that happens that puts you back in that, reminds you of it, and then you're deep into that, like going over what happened, why it went down, what you could have done better, mistakes, shit like that. But this scene, like Abel said, it doesn't, I know what they're trying to do because I have PTSD. I know what experience he's trying to portray. It's just awkward. It's like Act of Valor acting.
Yeah.
I feel like this scene came out of the movie Act of Valor. It's like, hey, we need to go do this. Oh, not on the beach today. Bring the family. It's going to be awesome. Oh, you know I haven't swam in years. It's like fucking weird.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
So he knows he's being followed. He keeps looking at the car during the day. As a soldier, being followed isn't really a concern. Like, you're home. No one knows who the fuck you are. No one cares. You do your operations overseas. As a cop, you worried about being followed all the time. It's a very real concern that someone you arrested, someone you had some kind of contact with, in law enforcement, is going to try and come home to your house and kill you or your family, because you're putting people in jail, and then you live probably anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour from where you're arresting people. So as law enforcement, I constantly was worried about being followed, and I would always watch myself coming home and make sure and sometimes I would do weird pull-offs and double check and back around, and it's annoying and it takes longer to get home, but you know that if you arrest the right gangster or the right fucking person, they will try to get back at you. So one thing, being followed 101, is don't drive fucking home. It blows my mind that he is worried about being followed and then goes home. Like, my guy. Like, why? What's the point of knowing you're being followed if you're just going to drive home? As soon as you think you have a tail, you lose that tail. And if you can't lose that tail, then you drive back to the police station, your base, whatever. You don't go home. You don't even go near your home. You don't even go in the same neighborhood, because even if you go in the same neighborhood, they could just loop around your neighborhood until they see your car. And if you are a police officer and you're driving home, if you have a garage that you could park in, I always put my vehicle inside the garage. So that way, if somebody at least got to my neighborhood, just driving through my neighborhood, they're not going to see my car and spot me. Because people will watch you coming out of police stations, and they'll know which car you drive. And there's nothing we could do. We have to leave the police station. So whatever car you take from the police station, park that shit in the garage and keep the garage door closed. So on that note, there's episode 1. I hope it gets better. I really do. We're only bashing it. It's the first episode. Maybe it'll get better. And I really, really hope it does. We've heard good things. A lot of you guys have messaged and said good things about it. I could tell some positive things about it is I could tell that there's like this, you don't know what's going on. It's like this mystery thriller thing. It's pretty dope. Like, is he doing it? Is he the one killing people? Is it really him? Is someone actually after him? That mystery side is cool. It's just like, why draw it out so long that you're just like, boring scene, like, I don't know. It just feels so flat. I hope that after this episode, we get on to episode 2 and we have way more, a way better experience. And then Chris Pratt start relaxing into his role and start being himself a little more to make this more enjoyable to watch. But episode 1, guys, you lost me. I'm not trying to be a jerk, and I'm not being a hater. I wanted this to be good, probably more than most. Didn't happen for me.
I completely understand that this is written by Jack Carr, who seems to be pretty popular. He seems to be very good at what he does. I just think there's something slightly missing. But I mean, I think it's great. I think a lot of people worked really hard on it. I think it's good. Chris Pratt's an amazing actor. I just think they missed the mark slightly in terms of the emotion. I'm
going to be honest with you. I started to watch episode 2, and it did start to get better. I was only 15 minutes into episode 2, and I was like, all right, here we go. Hope you guys enjoy that breakdown. Let us know what you thought about episode 1, not the whole series. Don't ruin it for us. Don't spoil it, because I do want to watch this. Episode 1 fell flat for me. Can they bring it back? Do I love every episode of some of my favorite shows? Absolutely not. sometimes they just need time to build the characters and to get in it. So are we saying to not watch this show? I think you could just skip episode 1. I'm watching it from a perspective I want it to do well, because I feel like it's coming from someone that's in my community, and I want it to be super successful. And I was just disappointed. It's like, I thought Chris Pratt just tossed that home run up and was about to take a swing, and it was a fat ass fucking miss. So hopefully we can bring it back and it starts to get better.
And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to really love the next episode, because we're doing Jarhead. And this is because I wanted to do Jarhead. It's not because he wanted to do Jarhead. He doesn't want to do Jarhead.
I don't want to do Jarhead. We'll see you on Jarhead.